God is actually better at leading you than you are at hearing his voice. Think of how many decisions it took you to get to where you are right now. How many times did you actually hear an audible voice? How many times did you have a dream that was leading you in a specific direction? But you need to realize that God has been leading you all along. He has always been there by your side. In all those little moments, those little decisions where it felt like it was just you making the choice, God was actually by your side, giving you a nudging, giving you impressions that was guiding your decisions towards his purpose and will for your life. If it was only up to you, if it was only up to your human strength and wisdom, you probably have messed up. And the fact is that sometimes we actually mess up. Sometimes we do what we want to do. Sometimes we go against what God is leading us to do, and we face negative consequences. And that's part of the learning experience. But even in that, God is still teaching us. God is still leading us to become a better version of ourselves. And we know that the enemy is always there. He always wants to use confusion. He wants to use deception. He wants to use even our fleshly desires against us to manipulate us away from God's desire and plan for our lives. That is why the Bible encourages us to walk in the Spirit so that we will not fulfill the desires of the flesh. So maybe you've been stressing about hearing God. Maybe you've been stressing about getting direction from God. You need to take a pause and reflect on all the decisions that you've made over the years. Think about all the big and small decisions, all the ones that you can remember, and try to figure out how many of them were you actually led by God? How many of them were you actually directed by God on? And you might see a pattern. You might see a pattern of how God has been leading you over the years for the decisions that generated a good fruit. That could give you an idea of how God actually communicates with you. But ultimately, it should give you a level of confidence. It should give you a level of trust in God, knowing that even when you don't hear so clearly from him, his hands are still there to guide you, to lead you, to make sure that you end up exactly where he wants you to end up. That is why the Bible says all things work together for the good of them that love God, who are called according to his purpose. So I hope this encourages you. Always remember that God is there leading you along the way, even when you don't hear him clearly, even when you can't feel his presence. He's always there by your side.